Good evening, everybody. It's Wednesday, hump day here on March 11th, 2026. Already March 11th. Doesn't feel like March today. It felt like mid to late June. I mean, yesterday we joked it felt like mid-June. Today really felt like almost July, the kind of heat we had. But I do want to start first with a fire. We were talking about this in our early shows on WCNC. You might have missed them. We did have a wildfire. We've been watching this from our Dallas camera over in Gaston County. It does look like the smoke plumes have gone down a little bit. This was initially reported as a 2-acre fire. I got a report from a firefighter over there that it spread to at least 20 acres. Last time I saw, there was some evacuations possibly in that area. Looking at the map, it looked like there was a junkyard or auto repair store, so there was a lot of old cars. There might have been some other sources for ignition there. But again, we worry about that this time of year, especially today, because if you've been outside, the winds are absolutely howling, up to 40-mile-per-hour gusts, so anything that does form could spread pretty quickly. But that's over off Abel Road in northwestern Gaston County, if you're wondering. Local radar, not much showing up there right now, but back to the west, we've got big changes on the way. We've got a massive cold front that's moving in, and yes, it is going to be a dramatic change, but the crazy thing is the temperatures are still going to be close to average. It just goes to show you how abnormally crazy warm it was in the past 3 to 4 days, and really you can go back to the end of February. We've had above average temperatures. Look at this cold air. It's like Mother Nature says, hey, this was crazy for March. We're going to make a correction here, and it really doesn't start this week. I think it's more so next week we'll see a bigger change heading our way. But just to give you a perspective, today 87. It's the average high for late June. The average high is 63. So on Friday, yeah, that's a big change, 64. That's still a degree above average. You'll probably notice it more in the morning because the morning lows are going to be back in the 30s, which should give you a break from the AC and definitely give us a chance to kind of maybe catch our breath a little bit from the crazy electric bills we had from the winter now here in the spring. So today, yeah, we knew it was going to be a record. 87 yesterday, 87 today. I mean, we've been obliterating these records. You can see the average, but we had a double record today. We had a record warm low temperature. It's one of my favorite stats. It's kind of a weird thing people don't talk about, but it's called a record high, a max low. It sounds like counterintuitive, right? It basically means it's the warmest low temperature for this date. And not only was it the warmest low temperature for this date, that ties for the warmest low temperature all time in the month of March. Basically, there's never been a temperature warmer than this except for 2 other times. And those happened on the 25th and 26th of the month, not on the 11th day of the month. So, yeah, if you're going to see a crazy warm temperature in March, you kind of expect it towards the tail end of the month, right? Going into April. This year, we've had them at the beginning. So this has been all-timer, really, honestly, for warmth. You just don't see temperatures 27 degrees above average. That is just crazy. So the winds, we talked a lot about this. If your trash was out today or you had flags out, they were whipping hard. The southwest wind, we call that the blowtorch, and it really did feel like a blowtorch today because it was blowing in these really warm temperatures. Tim and I joked yesterday someone was going to hit 90. We did have 90 at Sherall, so our forecast verified. Raleigh and Fayetteville got close. I don't know if they actually touched it. I saw 89s a couple times, but here we are at 6:30. It's still 86 degrees in Charlotte. The average high is 63 right now. Tonight, now, this is the toughest part of this kind of forecast. The maps are going to look weird. That is not really our overnight forecast. That's the low temperature. It's going to be a weird day because it's going to be one of those days that I often talk about these where the high temperature happens at midnight. So whatever the temperature is at midnight tonight, that's going to be our high temperature for tomorrow. I'm going to try to take our long look at this. So this map's kind of small, but it kind of shows you the drop in temperature here. So we'll kind of plot it all at once. So I'm basically trying to put 12 hours a day down here at one time. So low 80s now. Look at the temperature at midnight, 74 degrees. So it'll be 74 at midnight, but it'll be 67 when you get up. And by mid-afternoon, it could be in the 40s. So it'll be a reverse day where it actually gets colder as the day goes on. And that colder air is coming in on a powerhouse cold front. This cold front, if it would happen in the middle of the afternoon, we would be concerned about severe weather. As it is right now, I think the severe weather risk is low. It's not zero. It's probably about 5%. You could see at 4 a.m., look at that, 71. 4 a.m., on March 12th, it's 70 degrees outside. Here comes that front. Now, that front could be mean business. What's interesting is when you look at that, the radar looks really impressive, right? You're like, wow, that looks like a big storm. But look at the temperatures underneath that rain. In the 50s, that's not really good fuel for thunderstorms. So these could be what we call elevated thunderstorms. They're feeding off of instability above our heads. But it also means they might not be connected to the surface, which means the strong winds or any severe weather might be staying aloft a little bit. Now, if they does mix down to the surface, we have issues. So look at this. By 9 a.m., it's pouring rain. The front moves through. Look at this. By 11, it's 47. Remember, it was 74 at midnight, and it's going to be 47 about 11 hours later. So this is why it's a weird day. Middle of the afternoon, it's in the 40s, and Tim probably doesn't want to see that blue up there towards him. But yeah, the guidance at least is indicating maybe a brief mix. I doubt that'll happen. But you could see temperatures by this time tomorrow could be in the 40s and 50s. So we'll go from AC to heat pretty quickly because mid-30s when you wake up on Friday morning. So really chilly, but by the afternoon we should get back in the 60s, which is, guess what? Near normal for this time of year, but it has not been anywhere near normal, so it will feel much colder than it actually is. Now, the one thing we look at is something we call CAPE, thunderstorm fuel. So what kind of fuel do we have? And I'll back this up a little bit tomorrow morning. This is why I'm not overly concerned with severe weather. There's a small chance. Again, I don't want to dismiss it because we call it a non-zero severe weather threat when it's not zero, but it's pretty low. There's just not a ton of energy. So while I do think the winds will be gusty like they were today with the front, it's probably going to be more due to the front than actual thunderstorms. Now, the best part of all this, huge rainfall chances. This could be an intense, quick shot of rain, but a half an inch plus is exactly what you want. This will actually be really beneficial, help clean some of that pollen out of the air, but also help with the drought. The drought monitor comes out tomorrow, but remember, the data for the drought monitor comes out on Thursday, but the data goes from Tuesday to Tuesday. So any rain that falls on your Wednesday, Thursday doesn't get counted until the following week. So this will not get counted in the drought monitor. So we want you to be aware of this tomorrow morning. Doesn't look to be too strong, but between 7 a.m. and noon, hopefully after the morning commute, and I think for Charlotte it will be, so the commute should be okay. It's going to be mid to late morning, gusty winds, heavy rain, really hammering us here. And then make sure you get to your destination early tomorrow, so maybe a little early to work before the rain moves in. And then by lunchtime, we should be fine. Keep an eye on our app. WCNC app will update you on any details. Now today, I had to take my Zyrtec. It was horrible today. It was horrible yesterday. Pollen levels are through the roof. Tomorrow we get a little break because of the rain, but also a shift in the wind. But this time of year with everything blooming, it doesn't take long. As soon as the wind picks back up and the rain stops, the pollen actually gets worse sometimes after the rain because the plants respond to that rainfall and they start blooming even more. So the big changes, yeah, they're happening this week, but not as much as next week. Next week to me is a much bigger change. That's when we see a dramatic drop in temperatures to below average. I'll jump ahead to our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast because this will tell you kind of the wild ride we're going to be on. Cooler Friday, but still near average. Warmer this weekend. The big cool down to me is going to be next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, St. Patrick's Day into Wednesday. We're talking highs struggling to get out of the 40s. That's way below average. And morning lows back below freezing. So about 10, maybe 15 degrees below average. Not the 27 above that we had this week, but certainly a dramatic change. So stay tuned for those big updates as we get closer to next week. Coming up in a couple minutes, Tim and I will talk about this crazy pattern we're going to go into. We'll talk a little bit about the severe weather yesterday, which we tracked during the show. And we'll probably look ahead to that big cool down next week. So stick around in 2 minutes.